Welcome back to more
Welcome back.
Pokemon Crystal. Just to quickly...
I'm your host, Techagent. This is my co-host, the Doots.
This is your host.
Brassydoots.
This is your brassy host. Brassydoots.
The dudiest brass.
The dudiest
brass.
The dudiest. That's if I ever make a subreddit.
The dudiest brass.
That's the name.
I thought you had a subreddit.
Do I?
Yeah, Brassydoots.
Oh, I don't know. That's like my Reddit name.
Subreddit?
No.
Oh. Okay.
My subreddit would consist of 2 people. Speaking of which, that's a great segue into what I wanted to do here.
Okay.
I just want to give some quick shout outs here. First and foremost, I want to shout out my buddy Mike.
First and foremost.
Are
you implying that Mike is the most important?
No, I'm just saying that it's important to start off a sentence with something like first and foremost.
Okay. It's not important, but go ahead.
Fuck you. Firstly, fuck, everyone's dead. Firstly, my buddy Mike, I don't know if he wants me to say his last name, so I'm not going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
But he has been a huge supporter of everything I do on this channel. He's been with me from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy. I play games with him all the time.
Yeah.
Just super cool dude. And Mike, I appreciate you, buddy.
All right. And saving the best for last.
Okay.
Arguable. We both actually wanted to
Yes.
shout out Chaz, because he's been a pretty adamant supporter. Well, the most interactive supporter on social media, it seems like.
Yes.
Anyway. That I've seen, because I haven't seen Mike. I haven't met Mike, and I haven't interacted with him. But he always comments whenever we post a new video. So, and he seems to laugh at our jokes. So thank you, Chaz, for laughing.
Yes,
at our
thank you,
shitty
Chaz, for
jokes.
laughing at our terrible jokes, especially mine.
Dark Cave.
Dark Cave. Yeah. So thank you too for all of your support.
Also, I didn't say thank you to Mike, so thank you, Mike. I haven't talked to you or anything, but if you're supporting the dudiest of brass,
Yes.
that's a good thing.
Yeah. Supporting people with clever names like Brassydoots.
Yeah.
That's like you should get paid to do that.
Yeah.
That's what pros do. Dude, 1 health. I'm gonna critical hit this thing right here.
You sturdied.
Yeah, I sturdied. in the Gen 2 of no abilities, I sturdied. I think they're actually hidden abilities.
Man, okay, so I got in this fight.
Go on.
Good lord. God damn. Oh no, it wasn't me. I was watching a YouTube Pokemon fight, and these two were battling, but somehow the battle was taking place where they weren't. I don't know what generation it was, but it was where the Pokemon's level was.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
That's just flat rules.
Yeah.
Or no, that's no restrictions, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't like they were all evened out at 50.
Right.
And this one guy threw in this, like, it was a serious battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these guys were getting fucked up, and he threw out this, like, level 1.
Fuck.
This level 1 super weak ass Pokemon, and it used this move.
Oh my god. I know exactly.
Yeah. It used this move that it, like, I don't know what the move was, but like it equated its own health with the health of the person it was fighting.
Endeavor.
Yeah. It fucking destroyed the other Pokemon.
Well, have you seen those videos of people beating like the Elite Four with a level 1 Rattata?
No, how?
Well, that's how they do it. Is they have a focus sash, and then they have Endeavor to bring it down to like 1 HP, and then they like quick attack it or whatever.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's
because
stupid.
quick attack has the
priority.
+1 priority?
Yeah.
It's +1 priority.
It just always goes first.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't always go first. Like speed will go before
right.
it.
I mean, it's
we're talking. It goes first before non-priority.
Yes. Yeah. So
that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. I'll have to show you it.
God. Yeah. Endeavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that video and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
At first I thought like this guy, I'm like, this guy's fucking hacking. And then I looked up the move and I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant.
Yeah. It's pretty great. So this guy's trying to sell us a Slowpoke tail for just $1 million. That's it. That's all it takes.
That's it?
Yep.
Well, it's not dollars.
You'll want this. Fuck yeah, I want it. I thought kids these days were loaded.
Come on, dude, they're not dollars.
He's okay.
Nobody's
First
spending
of all,
like $6,000 for a
I have
or $600 for a
2,000
Pokeball.
I have $2,000. Okay.
They're not dollars. They don't
$2,000
equate to United States dollars.
Dollars. 2,000.
If those at the rate, if this would have to be taking place in the future at an incredible rate of inflation. God damn! Does every Pokemon Center have this fucking floor?
Yes, Ian.
It's gonna piss me off.
All Pokemon Centers are the fucking same.
That's really terrible.
That's just how it goes, man. Okay.
I don't like it. You can't use that computer right there?
No, that's not a PC.
Why?
All right, Karate Nips.
Okay, it is a PC, first of all. Second of all, wait. Second of all, in Sun and Moon, the computer that you use
Yes.
to deal with your Pokemon is right on the desk.
Because that game, spoiler alert, holds your hand constantly.
Yeah. There should be an option that says, like, I've played Pokemon for, like,
There should
my
be an
entire
option
life.
called
Can we skip this shit?
New Game Plus. Make the game harder, you fucks. Like,
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier, though. Remember? We were talking about how it would be great. They'd have to change a lot of shit. But, like, in the same sense that Breath of the Wild doesn't... Like, you can just, as soon as you get off the plateau, you can go straight to Ganon.
yeah.
Like,
And get
it would be nice. It would be nice if what was more important than the leveling up was the moves that you had. And, like, you could just learn better moves over time.
Yeah.
Instead of just, like, your level defines everything about the game. And Zelda's also skill-based, too. So
Yeah.
you'd have to put some element of that in a Pokemon game. But... And we've talked about this before, so I'll just be brief. I feel like when you put too much focus on the numbers, it pulls away focus from what's important about this game, and that is the Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, we also talked about different, like, various styles of... You remember that? Of Pokemon, like Pikachu, that Sparky, Ash's competitor in the Elite Four.
Oh, based on, like, we were talking, like, based on natures.
Yeah, variations in how they would act and what they would look like based on their nature.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, they'd have, you know how, like, as an example, Ryu has that stationary, like, jogging pose.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like that for the Pokemon, but each nature would, like, do a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd behave differently. It wouldn't just be about, hey, this increases your attack and lowers your defense.
It actually means something.
Yeah, it would visually show you something. Anyway.
Yeah, and I think that's a great idea. I think in a game where, like, you're on a 3D console now in the Nintendo Switch, I think things like that need to happen if they want to keep people playing. You can't make the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Come out with a new console and then not do anything kind of more out there.
You know, I was looking at some videos of the what is it, Ultra Moon, Ultra Sun?
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like the graphics are that much better. I mean, it's cell shaded.
I missed a great ball. Hold on. I gotta go back.
I think what would be with the larger storage on those cards, what would be really, either you can make a short game where the graphics look great and maybe make some people happy, or you can make a really fucking long game with lots of content after you beat it with moderately good cell shading.
Yeah, I
most
think
cell shaded games don't require. They can look great. It's about aesthetics, really.
Yeah,
they can look great without having to, like, really push the graphical boundary. Borderlands is a good example of that. That's a good looking game, and almost any PC can run it.
Yep.
Well, not any. You know what I mean? Any modern PC can probably run that on ultra setting. I can run that on my laptop right there.
I could probably run it on mine too.
You probably could run it on yours too.
It's not Borderlands is a great example of that, where they kind of explicitly were like, we don't care necessarily about the graphics. We just want to give you like a fuck ton of guns to choose from.
Right.
And it's like, cool.
We want to give you as much content as we possibly can.
Like that's awesome. And like I can say I care a little bit about graphics, or at least art style.
Yeah.
And while the Borderlands art style is pretty neat, it can kind of become dull after a while for me personally, because there's just aspects where I'm like, that is just kind of like that looks like shit. Like there's parts where I'm like, that looks like shit. But in general, I do like the art style that they went with. And I think that Borderlands was just a great example of how you can have a great game and not just have to have all these crazy graphics.
Right.
So
completely agree. I've always looked at it in the sense that in levels of importance, and the most important is the gameplay mechanics and the quality of the content and the gameplay mechanics. Then it's frame rate, because if you have frame rate, if you can't fucking play the game, then if the game's making you sick, that's a problem. And I'm not going to be like one of those 60 frames per second people. No. I would prefer 60.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I would absolutely prefer 60, but there are plenty of examples where, like, for example, I'm pretty sure Ocarina of Time, one of actually the single most critically acclaimed game of all times, runs at 16 frames per second. And that worked for it. But if your art style can't work with that, don't do it. So after frames per second, for me, it's aesthetics. And aesthetics is always more important than graphics.
Yes.
That's exactly what we were just talking about. If you can make the game look good without hogging a bunch of resources that could be used for content instead, go for it. And if you can do all of those things, like, I'm thinking of an example, The Witcher 3. Witcher 3 had all of that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But if you can't, focus on those first few things.
Well, and that's what I love about games like Fallout. Fallout doesn't have crazy good graphics. Like there's like cool looking stuff, but like you look at the people in that game, it's like it's not that great of graphics. They don't look that realistic, but like the atmosphere and everything fits. It all fits together.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it good. Now I will say that Fallout can have frame rate issues.
So which Fallout are you talking about? 4?
Fallout 4, yeah. Okay. I've had frame rate issues with it before. It's not very often, but in those bigger fights, it absolutely will lag at times. That is also on console.
Yeah, I was going to say you also have the Xbox One, which is
so it's
currently the least powerful of the...
Well, especially the original Xbox One.
Competing... Well, really at this point, a lot of people are like, they're all competing, but PC is not competing with consoles. There's not really... Objectively speaking, there is not a competition between PC and consoles.
I think that
if you want, consoles offer convenience. You don't have to worry about driver issues. You just turn them on, boot the game that you want. Oftentimes people can't afford a solid state drive for their computer, so they can get to the game faster on a console. They don't have to worry about any technical issues. Like, the convenience factor is set for consoles. As far as performance, a good PC will always outperform a console. That's just the way it is. And so the real competing factor in the console wars is just Sony and Xbox One, because Nintendo's not even trying to compete with them. Nintendo is in its own little world, doing its own little thing, and is doing just fine because
it is doing just fine. I will say that I do believe that while there isn't a competition for the PC people, I will say that Microsoft does compete in the sense of it competes with the standards that PCs set, and it uses that as competition.
So I think you're talking about the Xbox One X.
Sure, yeah.
And that's probably if they made in a console, a $500 console, something that you cannot yourself easily make with $500 putting a PC together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because of manufacturing deals and construction in China, or someplace where
Right.
with cheap labor, they put something powerful together for a cheap price. And I mean, from what I've seen, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
As somebody who plays as far as the big hitters goes, exclusively pretty much on PC,
Mm-hmm.
I find the Xbox One X hardware very, very
Enticing.
not enticing, really. And I'll tell you why it's not enticing. Maybe it would be if it was the PlayStation, only because all the newer Microsoft games are coming to PC as well.
Yeah.
I find I'm struggling. It's pretty late. I'm struggling to get the word that I'm looking for, but I find it compelling. Maybe it might be the word. I think that I'm impressed.
Okay.
We'll say that.
Sure.
I'm impressed with what they got at the cost that they got it at, but I'm also concerned at what it took to get that cost down as far as it went.
Yeah, so long as they can keep everything working with it, I'm totally okay with it. I'm really excited for it.
I know. You were talking about getting it yourself.
Yep, I am super excited. And next time on Pokemon Crystal, I would love to keep talking about it because I love Xbox. It's great.
Yeah. Maybe not though.
Maybe not. We'll see. Next time on
That's a
Pokemon
lot of
Crystal.
Xbox talk for a Pokemon game.
Yeah, maybe we'll try to focus on the game a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, next time.
Next time.